do you think that the breath is the most helpful thing?
I honestly think it's not gentle though. It can be really I don't want to use the word triggering, but that's, that's a good word. It can be really
I think
it gets you
dislodge.
to face up to things.
Yeah.
For me, the breath is one of the fastest ways to enact change in your body. The breath is the link between the brain and the body, because it is, it is the thing that connects the breath. The breath is the thing that connects the brain and the body through the nervous system. The more that we learn about the nervous system and its impact on all of our other systems, the more we realize actually we need to breathe. And it is something that we will do naturally. We'll find ourselves taking a deep breath when we, say, for example, we need to do a speech. We'll take a big inhale, and that will stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, get us ready, not for fight or flight, but just ready to do a big speech or whatever it is. So you take a deep breath to prepare you for something. Um, but you might also find yourself taking a longer exhale because you need to relax. And when we exhale longer than we inhale, we stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, or that rest and digest type of system. So it brings us into a state of relaxation.
I'm just getting visions in my mind of any time I've had to stand up and speak, and you take that inhale in and then you don't breathe again until
Mhm.
you, and then when you sit down, then you go, ah, when actually more beneficially would be to take that inhale, take the long exhale, and then start speaking so that
Yeah,
you're in alert but relaxed space.
yeah. And if we did that, there's such an important thing about co-regulation. If we can be in that parasympathetic nervous system, in that relaxed state, the people who are listening to us will also, without knowing it, move into that relaxed state. So if you watch a group, and I'm thinking about like a yoga practice, they all start to breathe together, even if they haven't overtly done a breathwork technique. But as they start to move, they'll start to breathe in symphony with each other. And this isn't always done intentionally, but it does happen. And if you can do it intentionally, you can really help other people to feel calmer without them realizing why they're feeling calmer. You're just helping to bring their nervous system back down into a sense of groundedness and, yeah, social, out of social anxiety into sort of social society and social connectivity.
That collective calmness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds amazing. I'm just very aware of your time. And I know you want to talk a little bit more about your breathwork course, how it's going to operate, the time scaling and stuff like that. So do you want to go through that just now?
Yes, certainly. The course itself, when it started, it was just a 6 week course. Immediately, the first time I ran it, we had to extend it. I knew straight away that wasn't enough time. We then ran it for a couple of rounds as a 4 month course, which was 3 months of sort of learning and then a month of practice. But again, that still didn't feel like it was giving the facilitators enough support. So I've actually extended it and made it into a 6 month course. Now, I've not um, massively increased the amount of information, because you're getting quite a lot of information here. You're getting information on the anatomy of the breath brain connection, the nervous system, the vagus nerve in particular, and polyvagal theory. We go into great depth and detail about all of these things. But you're also learning, as I said, different breathwork techniques. We actually learned 6 different breathwork techniques. And I think this is really important because a lot of breathwork trainings are only focusing on one type of breathwork, and one tool does not suit all people. I think it's really important to have a number of tools in your toolkit, because if someone, the breath that I'm talking about, which is quite well known now, is called conscious connected breathing. And it has various names like transformational breath, holotropic breath, and so on. And it is a very activating breath. But it also, being an activating breath, has a lot of contraindications. So if you've only learned one breath and then someone comes in with a contraindication, you don't have anything else to give them. So I think it's really important that you have other breathwork techniques that you can do with pregnant clients, with traumatized clients, with clients who have asthma or COPD. They can still do breathwork, even if it's a different breathwork technique. So so I'm very deliberate about giving you different techniques and practicing those techniques. But again, the main thing for me about this 6-month journey is that we are on a journey together, and it's not just about all the learning, it's about beginning to embody it and to really feel it in your own body, in your own nervous system, and really understanding trauma, understanding space holding, practicing and feeling confident holding space for other people as they go through this breathwork techniques. But you have to experience those techniques as well. So there's a lot of time where I'm holding space for the facilitators in training.
So important that the people delivering the sessions, delivering the class, really truly understand and know how it feels in their own body.
Yeah.
But then also being able to, when I think when you're teaching, and I know myself with doing my own breath work, my yoga teacher when I was doing my training was very, very pranayama based. We did more pranayama than we did movement in our training. And one breathing technique will have an intent to have a particular outcome, but that doesn't mean that every nervous system is going to respond that way. So when you're learning in a group, there might be somebody that has a different experience to you, and when you then get to chat about that, then you as the teacher can learn from your colleagues of, all right, okay, well, if that didn't work for you, what could be the tweak to help it?
Yeah. And it's quite rare for a yoga teacher training to have more emphasis on pranayama or breath work than on the asana or movement.
Yeah, it's, and from some of the other like yoga teacher trainings that I know other people have gone through, and there was one particular training that I did in addition to my original one. I don't think we really spoke about breath at all. It was all the physical practice. But then that was why I chose to go and do that one, because I knew it was very technically based on positioning and movements, and that particular training that I had gone on brought in a lot of Pilates elements into teaching, which is what I liked, because that's what I was doing myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just every teacher training is different, because the person who's holding that space to deliver the education will do it from where they think is the best angle to come in at it.
Exactly. Yeah. And and for me, it's one of the things I still deliver my yoga teacher training, and it does have that element of breathwork in it, but it's not the main focus. And we have an awful lot to cover in a 200-hour initial teacher training. In Pilates, we are looking at breath as part of the, lateral breathing in particular as part of the Pilates curriculum. But again, it's not the main focus. And I wanted to have something where breath was the main focus, and where we could talk about trauma and we could talk about the nervous system, and we had time for all of that. And it's been really interesting.